Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to True Crime in Real Time, y'all.
Yeah, welcome. And we are missing our co host, but that is okay. We love him and we want him to get rest.
Yeah, Eric's arm resting. It's so nice to see all our besties here in chat.
Oh, yay. It's Happy Faces and Ducky. Hi,
And
guys.
Cat K's in there. It's just farther up there.
Oh,
And
is
he's
she? Oh,
in this
yay.
conversation. Everybody's having a little conversation going here.
Hey, Cat
Um, I,
K.
I see that get to ducking point. I've never understood the Karen Reed doing so many interviews either.
Ooh, yeah. Apparently, she had a big interview tonight right after the Super Bowl. Did anybody catch that?
Did we do we have it?
So we don't have it. Here's the thing with that interview is I think that her defense is really kind of putting everything all out there because they're really believing that this dismissal is a real option for her. Obviously, they know that the prosecution has been pushing pretty hard to get all the notes from the past interviews she's done and all the like the uncut versions kind of thing. So for
Mhm.
them to do another interview knowing that they're basically goading the prosecution is pretty awesome, and it's like a total power play in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I like it. I like it. They
I
know.
really don't think she has anything new that she's going to say. I mean, in her defense, like the story tells itself, right?
I think so. I don't know how they can even attempt to have the same trial that they had last time.
Oh, Happy saw about 3 minutes of it. What did you think, Happy? Was there anything groundbreaking happening when you saw the interview? Happy's always up on all the information for us. She's always got good
Yeah,
info.
yeah, that's awesome that you saw any of it. I didn't even get a chance. Didn't even notice.
Yeah, I mean, there were quite a few channels that were talking about it. I'm sure there's going to be a complete rundown, and we'll probably give you guys a recap of it and watch it. So we'll have like the key points about it. But to me, I think it's just a show of all in all confidence in their defendant. And I think that it's a way to show the prosecution that they're not afraid of, basically anything coming out, any questions are on the table. Like I think that team, from what I hear, Turtle Boy or any of the people like the real insiders talking about is like this this defense team is along with Karen Reed is like a friend group. Like they are tight, tight, tight. They talk every day. They're, all on the same page. They work together like really, really well. And
Hmm.
they really believe in Karen's innocence.
Yeah, yeah, and you can tell. You can tell because you can't when we're watching when we've watched other attorneys representing. The, sometimes it just doesn't. So representing people just doesn't always seem like they're the right fit sometimes.
Right.
But this does. These people like really actually seem to care. The other channel that was on earlier is that group of guys. I can't remember the name of it. Who are like all from around there or all about the Karen Reed case. They were all live earlier, and I saw that after the Super Bowl. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I see the Karen Reed crew is always super active. Okay, just checking out our chat here. Happy said, no, it was just an intro that she caught. And Ducky said something that I've been saying in another chat when I pop over is like John O'Keefe was not hit by an automobile, Arca.
Uh-uh.
It's funny
Nuh-uh.
because I actually really like having a difference of opinion with other people as long as it's respectful. And I was actually in Frank's chat the other day, and one of his mods was saying, I think basically like she thinks Karen is guilty, or he or she, I think it's a she.
Mhm.
Um, and I said, oh, well, so you don't believe the ARCA people? Because I know that they're very pro law enforcement, as are we.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I, how I see it is that the FBI really kind of like has her back, if anything, and I was kind of hoping that they would swoop in and save her the bundle of money that she's
Yeah.
gonna, you know. I have to put down to do this second trial, but
Yeah, it's unfortunate the cost that she's endured because she clearly, in my humble opinion, not guilty.
big
But
time.
they're doing it anyway. They're gonna do it anyway, which is just absolute insanity. But
Yeah, we even have like a little bit of a clip that we wanted to share
yeah,
with you guys. Tonight we're gonna do a full like a weekly recap. We're gonna talk some Karen Reed that we have from the motions hearing that happened this past week with regards to like what came out. There was one verdict in her favor, one not in her favor. We're gonna talk about the Diddy updates. There's quite a few of those. We are going to cover Blake and Justin, and we're going to do some pop culture.
yeah, why
What
not?
else? Idaho?
And oh yeah, we have. I've been really enjoying this channel that does all the Diddy does all the Idaho Coburger versus Coburger paperwork, the Kathy's Indie Zone.
Nice.
So I just thought we'd share because she put out 2 videos today, and she explains docs when they've been put out, and she goes back over just different information. She's got like 400 episodes, and she's so smart, and I just really enjoy listening to her. So I thought we could check that out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've kind of become like doc nerds. Like we want to know all the lingo, but I mean, it really helps to have somebody explain it to you like you're 5, and then you can feel a little bit smarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for dropping that link, Happy.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Happy. I do. I enjoy that channel a lot, and I check in there, and I'm like, yeah, this. Yes. Just because it's straightforward. It's just real intelligent. I really enjoy that. It's really good.
Shout out to them. So what's first? I see you've got one video up. Are we continuing on with Karen?
Yeah, I thought we'd just start with Karen since we're talking about it already.
Awesome.
And let's just watch this little video here and see what they got to say.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah. Oh, I got no audio there.
Karen Reed. Today, Reed was back in court. Judge Beverly Cannoni took up a couple of motions while the defense says it plans to move for an outright dismissal of the case. NBC 10's John Maroney joining us live from outside of court in Dedham with the latest developments. John.
Monica, hearings like this one, they are not very exciting, but they are important because they will help shape the trial in the spring.
Well, there's going to be a very robust motion to dismiss from us, and it's in the offing.
Morning. Karen Reed's second trial is still months away, but her attorneys say they'll try to shut it down before it gets going. She's accused of hitting and killing John O'Keefe with her SUV and leaving him to die in a blizzard.
I specialize in computer, cell phone.
Prosecutors are trying to prevent forensic data expert Richard Green from testifying about the provocative cell phone search Hosselong to die in the cold. In the first trial, the defense witness challenged the timing of the search, raising questions about how and when O'Keefe died. The defense says he's qualified. Special prosecutor Hank Brennan disagrees, questioning his methodology.
Commonwealth does not intend to simply let evidence come in that's not qualified, that's not factually sound, and then go knock down glass houses.
Boston Magazine reporter Gretchen Voss was in court. She's been ordered to turn over to prosecutors handwritten notes of an off-the-record conversation with the defendant. Voss has made her on-the-record materials available. Her attorney has asked the judge to reconsider her off-the-record ruling.
Requiring Voss to turn over these confidential notes would damage First Amendment interests more than it would benefit the public in achieving justice.
This week marks the 3rd anniversary of John O'Keefe's death. His family was in court as always. We asked Karen Reed what she does when the anniversary rolls around.
I work on justice for John. We are.
Now there is another hearing next week, maybe 2. Judge Cannoni says she plans to keep this process moving so the trial starts on April 1st as scheduled. Live in Dedham, John Maroney, NBC 10 Boston.
I don't live.
Awesome. I loved the part where AJ is just like, we're gonna have a robust
Yep.
motion to dismiss. I can't wait for that. That's what I'm hoping happens. As much as
Mhm.
I love the trial being so entertaining, how do you do a trial without Proctor, or how do you do a trial with like the Sally Port video, like inversion and all the disaster that's followed that? How do you do a new trial with all the like obvious knowledge that the FBI is involved? I mean, I get that they're coming out guns a-blazing like on the
Mhm.
prosecution side, but I don't feel that they have the same chance they had the first time around.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I don't know how they could have the same trial. I don't. It's not possible. I don't know how they could. They can't bring back Proctor, right? They're not gonna bring back Proctor.
I
He's
mean, if
on.
they do,
He's
yeah, I
on
mean,
leave. He's
he's
on
now been suspended. Yeah,
disciplinary leave, right?
correct.
Suspend.
Yeah,
Yes. So, like, you're not gonna bring back that person.
no.
I don't
And
think.
well, I mean, it was terrible the first time. It'll be worse this time. You don't give Alan Jackson a second chance to win. I mean, he saw everything that he could have done differently, though there will be an Apple expert this time, in my opinion, going through exactly like step by step what John O'Keefe would have done based on his Apple Watch. I mean, basically, like they thought slam dunk the ARCA experts were, good enough. Any normal individual with half a brain is going to think that this is, a pretty obvious case, right? In my
Yeah.
opinion, because we did see online, like we watched Emily, and she's a huge sample size. I think she had like 200,000 people watching, that trial, bigger than Court TV, and 95% of her viewership thought Free Karen Reid.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that was weird because we saw, but we also, I was surprised how many people thought she was guilty.
Yeah,
So
I know.
the same
It
trial
still
we were
boggles
watching.
my mind. Yeah, yeah, it's kind
I
of
watched,
interesting.
I watched a cop sit on the stand and talk about putting his cell phone in the dumpster. He was like,
Right, right.
he just went and tossed it there. It's no big deal. He just went and put his cell phone in the dumpster. Like that
It's
whole
so many
story.
red flags. So many red
Yeah,
flags. And
yeah.
okay, so just to recap what happened in the motion hearings this week. So you guys heard in that quick video there, they were mentioning about the expert who did the deep dive on Jen McCabe's phone. And
Hmm.
that expert is allowed to testify.
Awesome.
So that's a win for the defense, obviously, because the prosecution's trying to get out all their expert witnesses.
And that's how we get all that information because that's one of
Correct.
Microdot's videos too.
Yes, yes, exactly. And there's more to come on that.
Yeah.
Um, and then the second motion was to recoup the expenses that Karen has incurred from sending a forensics expert over to Canton Police to collect that Sallyport video, which has since been discarded by the police, and apparently Judge Canoni doesn't think she's entitled to $12,000 for that. So
Right.
that was a no.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course not. I don't know. That's just it's. I'm not surprised with Bev.
Auntie Bev, yeah,
I'm a
no.
little disappointed. I've been disappointed several times, only because I feel like she has a lot more control over the court than she uses.
Correct.
She it's almost neglectful, in my opinion, to hear the testimony of some of these officers and
Mhm.
allow to a retrial. It's ludicrous. I don't even know.
Yeah, and she really could have done more with the jurors that came forward, because in my opinion that's such a, like, for those that don't know, after the trial wrapped, jurors came forward and almost unanimously, except for two, I think, basically had reached out independently to the defense and said, we voted unanimously to um, dismiss or, not guilty on the murder charge.
Right.
And in my opinion, I don't know what precedent there is because I'm not a lawyer clearly, but
Mm.
I think that she could have said, based on that information, or talk to the lawyer or talk to the jurors and polled them and said, hey, is this the truth? Is Alan Jackson lying to me? Is his Yannetti lying to me? And then realized, wow, that she was acquitted of murder. They just didn't know how to fill that out on the stupid jury sheet, which Alan Jackson was hopping mad about the first time around, which was her error, in my opinion, not the error of the jurors. I mean, probably the first time, last time doing that. So, I mean, who's to know? If there's no box that says not guilty, then they think that they have to fill in something. But they all acquitted on the murder charge. So how is it that in America, where you can't be tried twice for the same murder, she's being tried twice for the same murder? It just blows my mind.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't understand, and I do at the same time because we know that the documents are so important. Every little word and how it's every word on the paper has to be put in its own place. It's I mean, you can't. It's just the way court documents have to be accepted,
Big time. Yeah.
and it's just respectful of the court, and it has to be done properly. So it's kind of like this. This is all for show. She should be getting her money back. She's clearly not guilty. There's no way possible to retry her with the same, any of the same witnesses. I'd say most of the same
Yeah.
witnesses. We bring in the dog, specialist, and then you got nothing. Then what do you try to
Yeah.
say? What do you try
Yeah.
to say after that? You know?
And the fact that they hired a prosecutor to, like come at this harder and stronger and better is so embarrassing. I mean,
Mhm, mhm.
it is the most. I don't think I've even seen Lally talk even once in these hearings, in these motions hearings. Thankfully, I haven't seen Lally talk. He's so boring. But
Yeah.
it just goes to show you that they're like, okay, can we get someone better? Like, can we like try harder?
I mean, you could try, I guess, but it doesn't make it. It's just kind of it's pointless at this point. You know, you're in the wrong. That's why
Yeah.
that's kind of funny, right? That's what's funny about it. I
I
guess
think this trial should scare everybody. I mean, like she
Ducky
has a
says
lot of
Microdot dropped a
resources.
video today. Oh, sorry, Ashley, go
Oh,
ahead.
no, 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 that's awesome. We love microdots. Did you watch it, Ducky? Did anybody catch it? Microdots is I mean, Karen has an insane amount of brilliant people behind her in various different categories. She's got brilliant lawyers, she's got brilliant YouTubers, she's got awesome people that rally. And like, I was new to the Karen Reed thing. We were doing Kansas Moms when we basically like kind of like dipped out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And like we just started watching the Karen Reed trial and got instantly sucked in. I think we
Mm-hmm.
joined at the Higgins point. So we
Mm-hmm.
didn't really have a dog in the fight. We didn't even barely know the story. And it was just so clear. And there's so many people that are on her side that are just kind of independent of one another. Like Turtle Boy's been following it since day one because it's local to him. Then there's like Yannetti and Alan Jackson. Then you've got like Microdots and like Aussie Insider and like Melanie Little and who's that other attorney? Mark Betterow. He's Young Jerks. You got the
Mm-hmm.
Canton Police always having, or the Canton Select Board meetings always happening. It's
Mm-hmm.
been a very crazy and curious case.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's been wild because of just the testimonies we've seen. That in and of itself, and to watch Karen, like just that video we just watched, she knows she didn't run him over.
She knows that, yeah,
She
for sure.
knows.
And she's so confident. Oh,
She's
thank you,
so
Ducky.
confident. I love how confident she is. It's awesome.
She's so
Thank you.
she's so confident. But one piece of feedback I would give her is to seriously watch her face, because as a woman, like I have like radar for like women giving me like stank face. And I don't like it. Like it kind of like it makes me like feel like I hate it.
Sure,
And
sure,
and
yeah.
I know she can't stand the fact that she's on trial for murder, but sometimes I think her face makes her seem like a mean girl, and I don't think she is. I think she just has so much disdain for this process
Mm-hmm.
she's being forced into. But I
Mm-hmm.
think like maybe just try not to react sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. I feel like when she's sitting there, she has a lot of times I'm over this look on her face.
Yes, the
And I
scowl.
yeah, but I do when she speaks, she doesn't have a angry tone of voice. She
Hmm.
sounds positive. She sounds like an intelligent woman. She speaks clearly. She doesn't, she wants to defend John. I still think that she cares about, you know what I mean? She cares about all of it, and then she's just rung through the ringer, of course. And so I don't know. I just watching her, and I think this woman is good. This is going to be good for. This is going to be good, not for her because that sounds so dumb. Whatever, but you know what I mean. Like this, after this, I hope she'll be able to recoup whatever funds. Like the fact that she is
Me
not going to
too.
get her money back for the specialist is whatever. I know that she has a great job and makes good money, but I mean that's nothing compared to what she spent. Nothing.
Oh, and the trauma of this. I mean,
Oh
she's
yeah.
kind of a superstar, so that's kind of great. Like, I mean, in a way, she's got a lot of like people who are on her team, but at the same time, like, this has been a huge story. She'll never escape it, nor do I think she'll ever really want to escape it. She doesn't strike me as the type to like tail between her legs and like run away after this.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, like it's changed the course of her life, and it's just been so divisive and crazy. And, even for the people that have involved themselves, apparently it's super divisive and crazy. So, yeah, that's the update for the week. I'm sure there will be more. If there's a Microdots video, we'll definitely check it out. Thank you for letting us know, Ducky. And thank you for, she said, no, I was focused on not missing your alert. Aw,
No,
that's
that's
so
okay.
awesome.
I won't lie. Sometimes we're like, should we do it earlier? We have time now. And every once in a while I might change the times. And I really, really apologize. Try to work out so we're like not keeping you guys up so late at night.
So late.
But also it works out so well for us to be up late at night. So it's just kind of hard. We'll work it out at some point. We'll figure it all out. But we also had some other updates this week too, other than just Karen, which I think are kind of funny. I want to talk about I think that we should talk about Taylor Swift just because
Yeah.
I have this little, I thought the Super Bowl was great if your team won. I'm not sure that my friends here in chat's team won. I'm not positive how that all worked out.
I think our friends' teams did not win. For the
Yeah,
most
I have a
part.
feeling a lot of people I know's teams didn't win, but at the same time, I got to see part of the game and I get him. Hey, Frank, there you are. How's it going, friend?
Hey, Frank.
We were just talking about the Super Bowl because we're talking about the Super Bowl now for some reason. No, I guess my point actually would be there was that period when I was like, we should be going live. And then I was like, oh no, everybody's watching the Super Bowl. And I actually did other things.
That's true. That would have been an oversight on our behalf to go live during the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Not because we have so many people that would be like, let me choose between this channel and the Super Bowl, but just because we do have friends that we're all at parties. We pulled our relatively small, tiny group in Discord and of subscribers, and basically everyone was doing something family related for Super Bowl. So, and also we have Rach who lives smack dab in the middle of Super Bowl town almost. She's within driving distance, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, see, Ducky, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had other things, I had a lot of things I needed to do today, and some of those things involved Diddy videos because I can't stop. I don't know what happened to my feed in YouTube, but they just want to give me every video about Diddy. I found so many new creators. It's so funny. I think I just searched Diddy too many times, and now I'm just a true Diddy creator fan.
They're like, is this lady a Diddy fan, or has she just been to some freak offs?
Right. And that is a good question. Per my other search request. That's a great
There was
question.
a guy at the Super Bowl party that I was at, and he said, I forget how it came up, but we were talking about the potential that Super Bowls were rigged. This is before it started. And we were saying, oh, Kansas is probably going to win. And he was like, well, I think it's rigged. He's like, I think that they're all just going to freak offs and stuff like that. And I was like, what? he's like, Taylor has to be stopped. Her and her witch magic has to be stopped. I think they're all from the freak offs. I was like, wow, this stuff's really gone mainstream. So what do we have that's Taylor? Is this Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni civil case related?
No, I just have, what is this? I have a it is. It is sorry. Yes, I have from Entertainment Tonight. I'm like, what do I that is what I have. I just have the beginning as a music video, and I was like, this is cool. And I'm like, oh, I'm not showing you as a music video.
No Diddy, no doubt, Frank says. That's funny.
Frank,
thanks for hosting us. We've been in your chat quite a few times. It's been a fun chat. Really like your crowd.
Yeah, your mods are really nice. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Everyone
who hasn't checked it out, definitely check it out. We're there as much as we can be. He's got great Idaho stuff. Delphi, I haven't seen any of his Delphi stuff yet, but I'm excited to check it out because I don't know a lot about that case.
But we did watch a little bit of Delphi, and I think we all agreed, no, Richard Allen, did not get a fair trial. Not even.
Well, how do we know? It was like literally watching Laura Lee.
It was watching
lawyer Lee tell us what the trial was like. It was so confusing and crazy.
Yeah, she was great. She's great. She tells a great story, but it would just have been nice to feel like any of us. I don't know. Well, let's watch this video. We'll get back to that later. We'll talk about that for sure.
Sure. All right, let's see Taylor Swift and what kind of nonsense she's up to.
Yeah. Oh, no audio again.
All that ongoing It Ends With Us drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
I thought we were friends.
We are friends.
Well, Taylor Swift would very much like to be excluded.
I got a list of names and yours is in red underlined. I check it once, then I check it twice. Oh!
So how exactly has Taylor become entangled in the whole thing? Well, when these alleged 2023 text messages between Blake and Justin surfaced, of the two discussing Blake's changes to the film's rooftop scene.
Wow. Oh my God, please. I'm so sorry. No, I'm so sorry. You spent way too you spent way too much time in school to have me laughing like this. I'm terrible. I'm sorry.
Justin reportedly was unenthused with her work. And that's when Blake allegedly hit back, saying her most trusted partners gave their stamps of approval. Her bestie Taylor and her hubby Ryan Reynolds. Blake also seemingly going as far to compare herself to Game of Thrones' Khaleesi, calling Ryan and Tay her dragons.
I mean, my friends, there's sort of like a unspoken code that we're there for each other and we would never turn on each other. It's like kind of like this alliance that is the best kind of friendship you can have.
While the singer's always one to defend her friends, when it comes to this drama, we're told she wants to stay uninvolved. A source tells ET, Tay and Blake are still close, but the pop star is focused on her own life and everything she has going on.
I think for me, it's really important to constantly challenge yourself.
We're told Tay doesn't want to be brought up at all or involved in the lawsuit, especially since this isn't related to her.
I swear I don't love the drama. It loves me.
Oh.
And well, disgraced movie mogul Sean Diddy Combs had.
Sorry, I'm ahead of myself here.
Well, what's your take? I mean, it sounds like she now realizes, oh shit, this is turning into a giant civil case, and it's mostly being tried in the public eye. I want nothing to do with this. She has a squeaky clean image. For the most part, obviously she's been tied to like some messy breakups, but she definitely doesn't want to be dragged into deposition. She definitely doesn't want to be seen as a mean girl because she's kind of got the girl's girl image in the background. In my opinion, if Ryan Reynolds and not so much Blake Lively because she's already gone through that, but Taylor Swift are kind of put into deposition mode, and it's shown that they were bullying Justin Baldoni. And, you know, huge shout out to Candace Owens because she's kind of taken this story on. She's calling Justin Baldoni her little cousin because she feels so bad for him that he was sort of bullied out of his own movie, essentially.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then it turns out that Taylor, Ryan Reynolds, and Blake Lively were all rewriting his movie and pushing him to change scenes and hire people. And when he wouldn't bow down to them, basically said that they were going to do a smear campaign, which is what his whole civil suit is all about.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's it's hard to watch because it's all, we talked about this last time too. It's just hard for me to watch because they're actors. You watch that scene right there.
Right.
They're having so much fun. I
It's
can't
so
tell.
friendly. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell. Are they acting? I can't tell. Is that part of the
I
movie?
can't
I can't tell.
tell.
They seem like
can't
they've
tell.
like he asked to be friends with their husband, like all polite, like which is awkward. Like what? Okay, cool. Like she's
I
been
know.
nothing but a polite guy, but at the same time, it doesn't mean he's a nice guy. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's with all the Hollywood stars anymore. You can't trust any of them. Am I right? Am I right?
You're right. I mean, I think the update this week for that case is that there were some stories planted in the news that we could expect Blake Lively to be joining Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. And I think we can all safely say, womp womp, that was a lie, and she was not at the Super Bowl. There's other stories planted by Taylor's team apparently saying that Taylor feels used by Blake and that she's distancing herself. And if you're really into this case, I mean, we're not, but it would be interesting as a civil case for sure. If you're into entertainment law and news and stuff, and I would follow it if it goes to court.
Yeah.
But the real like MVP is definitely Candace Owens. She's deep diving it. She's like somehow united like the Swifties and the anti-Swifties all together because nobody wants somebody being bullied, and she's got great coverage of it.
Yeah, I'm impressed because it's not normally her deal. It's her deal.
Not at all. No, not at all. Or
Yeah,
at least
and I
I
was like,
didn't think it was. Yeah.
no, I've been impressed with a couple things she's put out lately. I was like, all right, Candace, okay.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
want to be
Frank
like,
likes Candace. Yeah, she is
yeah.
awesome. She
See,
does.
Frank, I
She's a
have
deep
a
diver.
strong dislike. I have had a strong dislike for a long time, and then these ladies that I'm friends with here are like, no, you have to like her, and I'm like, come on. And then they're like, here's some more of her, and I'm like, ugh. And then they do it again. I'm like, all right, okay, like I'll watch it, and then I've watched it, and I'm like, they're right, all right.
She's pretty good.
Okay, I give. You're right.
I mean,
Yeah.
side note, her story about becoming Brigitte, with the
Yeah.
that's a side quest, but it's super interesting if you guys are into her investigative journalism. It's so awesome. She does a great job. She's very thorough. And one thing I like about Candace is if she is wrong, she will come back out and correct it. And I love that about her.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know,
hey, Mr. Mandela.
I would be willing to watch a rebuttal on How to Make a Murderer from pretty much any creator that is legit, and I think that would be worth watching because I'll watch anything about that. There's so many holes in that, you know. And what's the name of the attorney, the like super amazing attorney that's totally on the guy's side? She's constantly putting out stuff for him, trying to get him out.
Oh, interesting.
Cannot remember her name. I'll figure it out eventually. Anyways, but yeah,
Cool.
that's good. I appreciate when people can do stuff like that. We have a channel and we know how to do StreamYard. So we're people.
So watch out, world.
Yes, I watch other
out, world.
channels, and we got like microdots and people like that who are out there making these cool videos on the side things. Like that is pretty cool, and I don't doubt that any of us could figure out how to make them at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I make TikToks, so watch out.
Yeah.
Actually, I had two TikToks go super viral this week. I had, well, not super viral.
And they were important. Talk about it.
They were cool.
They
I
were
just,
good.
yeah, I mean, I'm Canadian, right? So the tariffs, the Canadian tariffs would have been brutal for us. And I was joking with these guys about like how I'll never be able to afford ketchup again. And I was so sad. And so I just like made some videos when I was at the grocery store. I think of like just strawberries, like, and then our family blueberry, you know, farm or whatever. And yeah, I think I had like 140,000 views on both, and I was like, "Whoa, people really love Canadians. Thanks, guys." But yeah, actually, it was really sweet. All the Americans in the comments were so awesome, and everybody's like super supportive. But that's kind of the vibe on TikTok. Like people don't really like roast each other so much on TikTok. It's a very like friendly place to just be kind of crash out or be weird.
That's cool. That's funny.
Yeah.
I'll take crash out and be weird. I don't know. What about I know, like, cool. I like crash out and be weird. It's funny because we do YouTube so much, and there's so much news on YouTube. It's kind of hard to turn away sometimes, but like, there's some negativity sometimes. We don't like the negativity here. What should we talk about though? Speaking of negativity, what about
Ooh.
what about?
Should we dive deep into Diddy?
We
Is
should.
everybody ready for that? And thank you,
I
Frank.
think plenty of people have
Canadians
jumped
love you
deep into
too.
Diddy. Plenty
Yeah,
of people already.
there's a lot of new Diddy stuff, a lot of new civil suits that have come out. I think they're civil suit dumping right now because now's the time to get them in before he is completely probably bankrupt, and you know, they're just doing one after another. All his responses are pretty much the same, but they're still really important. It takes a lot of courage to come out with these, and for the victims, like it's still always important to talk about them as if they're the first, in my opinion,
Yes.
because you know
Yeah.
each person is telling their story.
Yes.
And you know, a lot of them too, I think, I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like it's very counterintuitive for men to want to come forward with sexual assault, especially if they're maybe, I mean, maybe not especially, but like I think men, it's not the same culture still. It probably should be, but it's not for men to say that another man took advantage of them. So in this mashup we have, there is like a male R&B star who had to come out and file his case, and he's pretty detailed, and it's really sad and really hard, but good for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want to answer that question here. How with the new RICO charges, do y'all think Diddy will flip? Ducky, I think Diddy will definitely flip.
Who do you
Definitely.
think he will flip on? Who is bigger than Diddy that he could give up? Like
Oprah.
Oprah? Okay.
I'm waiting for Eric. I'm like, where'd Eric go? Oh yeah, Oprah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we've talked about this before. Obama.
Okay.
People that we aren't expecting, because you remember the Allie Carter. And she was saying like the names are bigger than them, so that therein lies the scary part, right? When we heard about Epstein, we knew that Epstein is doing all this stuff. He's got this big island, he's got all this money, all these people, all this lists of people that we've never seen, and yada yada yada, basically. And then he's dead. And then I noticed that there were definitely people talking about how he's just like a pawn. Like it's okay that he's dead. It didn't really matter. He was just like one of the people in the mix there. There's always going to be somebody else, and that's what's scary. It's like, yeah, the Diddy you guys think's gonna go. All this stuff's gonna go down. There's got to be at least 2 or 3 more people that are gonna get charged with him that we haven't seen yet, right? There's at least 2 more people.
Well, that's funny you should mention that, and I see that in the chat too, because it's a RICO case, and I was randomly watching SNL, which is usually not funny anymore, but in my opinion, but Dave Chappelle was headlining it,
Oh, well,
and
he's funny at least.
he's super funny. So I was like, let me watch his monologue, and in his monologue, he's like, Diddy's in so much trouble. He's in a RICO case all by himself.
He's gonna
And
take
like,
the brunt for sure.
that's super funny, but at the same time, it's like, it's actually kind of true. Like, we don't even know the tip of the iceberg. Like, we're hearing things that have to do with Diddy, and like, people are unnamed in the moment. Like, right now, they can still kind of buy their way out of it because civil suits are all about monetary gain at the end of the day, but they won't be able to buy their way out of federal charges. And if he's found guilty, then it doesn't even matter if he cooperates because a RICO charge. I mean, I've been watching a lot of mob stuff recently. Don't ask me how I got into that, but I work night shifts and you get down rabbit holes.
Well, yeah, we JFK'd and then
We
JFK
JFK'd,
and
yeah. We
straight
JFK'd so
down,
hard.
straight to the mob. Yeah.
Yeah, we JFK'd so hard. I fell down like a Sammy the Bull rabbit hole and realized he has a YouTube channel now. And I was like, gosh, damn. Like, all these mobsters have YouTube channels, like him and Sean Atwood. They're
Yeah.
like, they both were like the guys for ecstasy in Arizona, and now they're both just like YouTubers, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah. I
But
love it.
my point is that they were actually giving their opinion on Diddy, and Sean Atwood pretty much has like taken over the Diddy case, which I think is great. And he's really focused on the fact that like they have been through RICO cases. Those guys have like actually lived it.
Right.
And once it gets going and the feds get going, you don't get out of that. Like,
No. Yeah. Yeah.
it's not
That's
something anyone gets out of. And if you're about to get out of it, this is Sammy the Bull said this.
uh-huh.
He said, if you're about to get out of it and there's a reason to get out of it, they will just change the law. Like, and you're still in it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a possibility. Like, once you're in that, wrapped up in a RICO case, and
Yeah.
we all think because they're celebrities that they're untouchable, but that's really not the case. Like, celebrities
Mm.
aren't the untouchable class. The untouchable class are people that we probably wouldn't recognize their names.
Right. And exactly. And that's like Mr. Mandela says right here. He's not the king. He's not a pawn. He's like way down that pole. He might be like
100%.
moving
Yeah.
people around, but he's not the top money person. Though we did look it up, but Jay-Z does have quite a bit of money. But I'm curious, is Beyonce bigger than Jay-Z?
I think Beyonce is more of an icon in
Right.
some ways than Jay-Z because she's more palatable to various different audiences. And of course, she just got a Grammy for country this week, which is like,
Now she's
okay,
palatable to every audience.
okay. She
Yeah,
has
that
those
was weird.
blonde eyebrows, so she's looking different also. She's more marketable, let's just say.
Mhm.
So, but I think that, it's like what I said before, like, we think that they're untouchable because we know their names and they're part of our culture. But just as quickly as they put someone in our line of vision, I think they can take people away and, cast them out so quickly. Like, look at what they did with Martha Stewart. She was in prison. Like, like, lots of people go to jail. And I think we're gonna see a lot, and they're gonna have to feed the appetite for um the public, because now they've put all these stories out. The public knows it's a RICO case. We want to see who else was involved. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you don't do freak offs alone, right?
I mean, then it's just an off, I think. This is just by yourself. It's just not the same.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's watch this quick video. Talk about it. With audio.
Mogul of drugging and assaulting him. As per a lawsuit which was filed in New York, the incident allegedly took place in 2015. Prosecutors and the lawyer representing the alleged victims in the case have been behind a substantial number of suits brought against Combs over the past year, including one that named Jay-Z as an additional defendant. The new lawsuit says that in 2015, the unnamed male person had approached Combs with the aspirations of becoming a rapper and singer. The 23-year-old was scheduled to open for a popular music artist at a series of Los Angeles nightclubs. Now, prior to his performance, he was informed that Combs would be in attendance and should the performance go well, Combs would consider signing him to Bad Boy Records. The lawsuit further stated that later that night he attended an after party where there were other well-known entertainers who were taking in drugs. Now, one of Combs' associates handed him a drink, which he later realized was drugged. The unnamed person has further claimed that during his unconscious state, Diddy Combs had engaged in unconsented sexual activities. Meanwhile, in a statement provided to media, Combs' attorneys say, and I'm quoting here, as we've said before, Mr. Combs cannot respond to every new publicity stunt, even in response to claims that are factually ridiculous or demonstrably false. Now, Combs is currently being held in Brooklyn prison as he awaits his May trial for charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. Last week, prosecutors filed an updated indictment claiming that he transported, aided, and abetted 3 female victims, which was 2 more than previously stated.
Sounds
Kanye
like our
West
Diddy.
defends Sean Diddy Combs amid the music mogul's
Sorry. Jeez. I don't know why I have it set on that today.
Yeah, sounds like our Diddy, that's for sure. I mean, that one was interesting to me, the male performer one, because it's a little bit more like we're getting to the ones where, you know, these might be people who it's pretty easy to follow up with them because they have a specific date. They're a person that would have been booked to perform or did perform, you know, in this case. It's not an unknown person, right? And there might be more of a willingness to be believed. I hate to even say that, but I mean, when you have somebody who, like the last one was a babysitter, you know, she wasn't using drugs, she wasn't part of a party, she wasn't, you know, prostitute or something like that. She was a babysitter who worked for them, right?
Right.
This is also somebody in his atmosphere who probably has witnesses and people that they can follow up with, because in that he claimed he was told by an outsider if it goes well, he will be invited to Diddy's place and party with him. So, I mean, again, these are piling up and there's a lot of the same story over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. We have what's that article that I found on Vulture had 39 lawsuits against him
Wow.
as of today, yeah.
39.
So, and that's all like John Doe, Jane Doe, John Doe, Jane Doe, over and over, and Cassie. You know, there's people named. There's a Brianna Bongola. I'm probably butcher that name, right? There's people's names in here. There are people who are like coming forward and they're like, I'm putting my name on there.
Yeah.
But and DeWitt Gilmore, like there's people's names and they have like legitimate claims. And it's so scary how similar everything is. Like and then all of a sudden I was covered in baby oil or something. I don't know, whatever. Somebody handed me a drink and then I don't know what, and then all of a sudden I was being, you know, RSA'd or whatever. It's like absolute insanity.
Right. And it's very I mean, he's been doing this over a span of so many years and to so many people. It had to have been, you know, a very well-known thing because so many people are talking about it. I mean, 50 Cent was talking about it, Cat Williams was talking about it. There was a lot of people within the industry that were like, you were known not to go to Diddy's after a certain time. If you're going to a party, you're not going to the after party. Like, they talked about that. They talked about that well before these allegations as well, right? So, I mean, this is not a case of targeting, in my opinion. This is a case of, you know, how far does this go? And yes, I do think he would flip on someone if he had people to flip on, but I don't know that it's going to do him any good at this point. Apparently, he was also in the hospital this week.
Mm.
Another update.
Oh, another time.
Yeah, no, he has been working on getting himself outside of the jail, and apparently he has successfully gotten an MRI,
Cool.
and the
That could take a
whole,
while, right? That's a good call. Like,
yeah,
what test takes the longest? To be like, oh, I'm gonna need an MRI over my whole body, and then maybe my brain, and then I'm gonna do a contrast one. So you have to do the whole thing, the whole body again. Like do a couple
right,
hours in the machine. Be like, I had to be away from jail the whole time.
right. Yeah, we wheel people in 2 minutes and we have them out in 10. So I mean, he wouldn't have very much time with us. But
Oh,
um,
boo! You're
if
too
if
efficient.
you get a
Too
call, you're
efficient,
coming in.
Canada.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So a few people in the know said that it's very common for people who are looking for painkiller type of drugs to
Ah,
try to get these little
yeah,
appointments. It's little
yeah.
wins because they don't have such great access to drugs. And he is a well known drug addict or avid drug user. He went through some withdrawal apparently when he got to jail. And there's speculation that this is drug seeking behavior. So could just be sick of being in a cell, or it could be that he's looking for some
Hey,
drugs.
hey, both understandable. I can't. I mean, he's been there. He's what, 5 months now? How long has it been?
Yeah, he's been there. He's been there a bit. He's been there since last year.
Charges keep adding up. They're just going to drain all his money out before he goes to prison forever.
Yeah.
Smart. He should pay all these people top dollar so that he's got zero money when he goes to court.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think he gets a shower every day, Frank. I think he's like getting it like once a week kind of thing. Like I think, or not so often. I have
He's
to look
doing,
into that, but yeah,
yeah,
he's not.
he's weird. He's being weird, right? Where he doesn't want to get shanked, rightly so.
Right. I think he went on a hunger strike there for a while. I think he was kind of withdrawing and going through a lot. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Also in other Diddy slash entertainment news, we have Kanye West with a shitstorm of tweets and
Yeah.
disastrous behaviors. But what's funny about that is we did a little bit of a deep dive and we found some tweets from Kanye years ago when he was going through his breakup with Kim.
Oh,
And he was,
that's the old one. Sorry. Oh,
yeah. And so in the most recent tweets, he's defending Puff and he's saying, or P. Diddy or whatever you want to call him, love. And he's saying free Puff. But in his prior tweets a few years ago, he was actually calling out Kanye West.
is that
And
this one or the double-sided one?
there's a few, so we can go
Yeah.
through all of them. Yeah, these are his
Yes.
old
Go ahead.
Kanye's old tweets. In his old tweets, he was showing screenshots of his conversations with Puff, where he said that he was being threatened by Puff Daddy, and he was talking pretty negatively about him. So feel free to read. Do you want to read them to us, Sophie?
I like this one. I can't. Who do you think the gray is, Puff? I'm just
Puff.
trying to talk to you as a black man, and I'm talking. It's funny for me to say it, and I'm talking to you because this is hurting our people. Stop. Anything you text, I will post. I love you, and you guys are breaking my heart. I accept your apology in advance. And then there's the side screen over here, and Kanye says, "God is love." I don't know who Prod by Zach might be, somebody else, whatever. I love to see y'all making amends. Prod D Zach has officially retired and can keep up with me at whatever. They're just like their side thing. It's Kanye. Kanye commenting on Kanye. Is that what he's doing? He's commenting on Puff.
Yeah.
Puff's comments. He's like, what's this other one we got? As soon as I land, we will meet face to face. Send me address. F you. You fed. I like that one.
Just two normal dudes.
Yeah. No big deal. What's this one? Puff, I don't like our combo. I'm selling these teas. Nobody gets in between me and my money. This is my grandfather texting you now. Huh? Never call me with no bullshit like that again unless you're ready to greenlight me. Because ain't nobody got on that tea as me. Out of respect for everything you'll... I know, my God. Out of
Sophie
respect...
reading this is everything right now.
Out of respect for everything you've meant to me, I'll be quiet as Virgil.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what
No,
that he's
tell.
referencing? So Virgil was the designer for Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, I really don't know. I really
okay,
didn't
and
know.
was he died,
Okay.
but Kanye had believed that he was killed, and Kanye also was not invited to the funeral and was pretty pissed about that. So quiet as Virgil means like dead.
Oh, wow.
And he always thought that Puff was behind a lot of deaths in the black world. That was kind of his
Don't we all?
hypothesis. Yeah.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Yeah.
Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
At that time he did.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. You're doing so well.
I blew through this, but now I know how I've hurt people I love with threats. Come do something to me illegal now, please. Please. I don't know why. Did like this one. What's this one? I already did that one.
That was so those were his interactions with and about Puff, like before, like years ago, prior to Bianca Censori and all that. That was when he was going through his mess, when his breakup with Kim and his breakdown, I guess you could call it, but one of his manic phases, so to speak. Yeah. And then
Sorry.
and then the tweets that are more recent, let's check it out. This was this week.
We don't have this week's. These are the only ones that I have.
You have the free Puff.
Oh, the free Puff one is it? This is it?
Yep, that's him.
That's the more recent tweet?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was like, there's more? Oh, I looked for more on there.
Oh, there's a lot. Oh my gosh.
He's gone wild the last few days. I'm not sure. I don't know, my comment about his lady friend being naked at the thing seemed like a lot. It just seemed like a lot. It seemed unnecessarily a lot. Like it just didn't seem necessary at all.
I think we also have a breakdown of Kanye defending Diddy.
Yeah.
A quick video for you guys too, and what we can make of it. Be kind of interesting.
Let me pull that one up.
Given the fact that he also thought before, a few years ago, that Puff was a criminal, come do something illegal to me, tell me where you're at, like leaking his texts. And the reason why apparently he said he leaked his text was because he wanted people to know that if something happened to him, that Puff Daddy was behind that. So just a little bit of context.
Right.
Kanye West defends Sean Diddy Combs amid the music mogul's sex trafficking case. Ye shows support for the Bad Boy Records founder, who is currently in jail awaiting the May 5th trial for his charges, in a series of controversial messages. He writes on X, formerly Twitter, February 6th, "Free Puff," referring to one of Combs' former stage names, before adding in a separate message, "Puff, we love you." And the 47-year-old also provides insight into why he believes Combs, who pleaded not guilty to federal charges of racketeering, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution following his September arrest, should be released from prison. He says in another message on the platform that same day, "Just for clarity, they're trying to make an example out of Puff." Kim Kardashian's ex-husband continues in an additional post, "Who's ever after Puff, we got to find out exactly who they are." And Ye doesn't only come to the defense of Combs in his controversial internet rant, he also claps back at criticism of his wife Bianca Censori's naked look at the 2025 Grammys. He says in a February 7th post, "People say the red carpet look was her decision. Yes, I don't make her do nothing she doesn't want to, but she definitely wouldn't have been able to do it without my approval, you stupid ass woke pawns." The Yeezy founder goes on to allege that he has, quote, dominion over his wife, who he tied the knot with in 2022, stating, "This ain't no woke ass feminist shit. She's with a billionaire. Why would she listen to any of you dumbass broke bitches?"
Oh my god! Oh my gosh!
That's
Oh my
fair.
gosh!
That's fair.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, why would you?
Don't listen to us, broke bitches.
Yeah, don't listen to us, broke ass bitches.
Okay, well, I think it's interesting that you know who's behind framing Puff kind of thing. I don't think anyone needs to frame Puff. I think yes, there are probably people above him, and I think that's possibly what Kanye is getting at. Is
Yeah.
that Kanye is a bit of a riddler. Like he does like to put things out on Twitter. I do think he's mentally ill at times, and he allows his mania to take over and make it possible for him to speak out the way he does. But I also think that a lot of his um, anger is because he's seen a lot of things behind the scenes, especially being part of the Kardashian family, I would imagine, um, where he understands like the power structure of Hollywood and
Mhm.
probably seeing one person take all the heat for everything
Mhm.
feels like it's wrong.
Mhm.
No,
Yep.
I'm just imagining, right? Like,
Mhm.
because you got to think about like any workplace that you've ever been in, and like imagine like seeing like everybody doing something, and like only one person gets in trouble, and you're like, wait, what? Like that person wasn't even barely involved, like something like that on just such a small micro level, but from an artist point of view and a brain like Kanye, where you're always trying to expose or like get to the real gist of things. I think what he's trying to put out there is like, can we talk about the bigger picture? That would
Yeah.
be my
I can see that. I didn't realize how much Kanye was worth. Like I forget that was a Kardashian. I forget all these things, and then I didn't realize that Kanye and Jay-Z are billionaires, and I Diddy not a billionaire. So there's one thing. There's one layer of difference.
yeah,
Who's at what level there?
yeah. And um and Kanye also got disenfranchised by like the machine, I think, back in the time of the first tweets that we showed.
Mhm.
He was like very racist, like had a lot of like Jewish hate, and he lost billions. Like lost billions as well. Lots of deals. His Adidas deal
Mhm.
gone. Like all
Alcohol.
his, yeah. So, um, I think it's interesting, and it's kind of relevant because there's only going to be a few people that really have like the inside scoop. Like I'm sure a lot of people have like I was a designer on set type of scoop, but he would know because he would be on the level of these people.
Right.
So it's kind of
Exactly.
interesting to hear such an unplugged mind talk about it. And I think
Mhm.
that's why we wanted to like talk about it tonight.
Because he's in that loop of whatever is going on, lithium or whatever they've done to him. And
Right.
is it MK Ultra possibly, whatever's going on there. Well, we'll give it that chance for this with that guy since he kind of went off the deep end. I've never had $1 billion. I don't know what that could do to a person where you're just like, I don't have to think about paying for a thing and I just do whatever I feel like doing. Maybe that helps drive you right off the deep end. Is it radiation poisoning? Is that what lithium's for? Is that technically what it's for? Frank, I think it's a really a drug
Bipolar.
commonly given people for
Mhm.
being bipolar, like a really potent bipolar drug, Ashley says, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not
I mean,
sure
it's
what he.
allegedly, yeah. Like I shouldn't say that. That's not fair. That's me saying it in my opinion, and it's tacky. So he may not be actually on that.
Well, if you watch his interview with it's actually I might still be on Netflix, but he does talk about his experience in mental hospitals. and in psych. And I do think he does talk directly about what kind of medication he was on and how it's a medication cycle. It's on Netflix, and it's his interview with that late night David Letterman.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, it's one of, I think it's the David Letterman's first series. And I found it fascinating because it is very true to what I've seen as well, with a lot of mismanagement. And I know that there are some people who are who do have legitimate mental illness or imbalances, and they really buck the system when it comes to medication, because it genuinely does hamper down like creativity and like those like highs that they really like. They really like the highs, and don't love the lows, but are willing to go through the lows in order to have the highs. So
Yeah.
he talks about it very candidly, and it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to check that out because that sounds interesting, because I have seen him, on that side of the deep end that he's on. I wouldn't, I don't know. Again, I don't have $1 billion. Maybe you're just like, yeah, I have $1 billion. I walk around totally naked. Like the king, emperor has no clothes, right? Like that dress
That's right.
does look really good on you. It looks amazing on you. Mostly because your body's amazing. So this dress that's completely see-through, of course, is going to look really good.
I really liked her coat. I really liked her fur coat, but that's
Yeah, the fur coat is awesome. Badass. Agreed.
Big fan. It looks so cozy.
Yeah,
before she was in no clothes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we have next? Do we have?
I was going to show.
Diddy?
I wanted to show that episode from Kathy about the Diddy, about the BK files, about her newest episode here.
Oh yes, Happy. Can you redrop that link? Because I want to check that link out too myself. I haven't seen Kathy before, so this will be brand new for me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this channel. She's really straightforward, goes over documents really, really well. I like it. Let's check it out.
We are continuing to look at Judge Stephen Hippler's October 9th, 2024 pretrial and trial order to deduce what the sides are probably working on right now to prepare for trial. One item
is this Idaho?
Yeah.
You go to the section of the court order.
I should have said that first. This is about Brian Koberger.
All right, we're into Idaho.
New documents.
Wheelhouse.
We went Hollywood. We're kind of at the end of the Hollywood for today. I think that we have this, and then I want to do the start of the show at the end there, which is our lady friend who's making some money.
Cool, very cool.
Yeah, let's see what happens here.
That is listed D as in David, trial materials. In bold, go down to the fourth bulleted item under that section. You will see a category, copies of exhibits. And here the court is ordering that on or before April 21st, 2025, the parties shall exchange their exhibits to each other.
We go 120.
So
I think
what this means is that the exhibits by the defense as well as the state, if they want to include for trial purposes, need to be identified, need to be made in a reasonable manner, and then it needs to be prepared to be exchanged. This is certainly not something that they're going to be working on either side, I would imagine, on April 10th. They're probably working on it and have been working on this critical issue for possibly even a while. What are exhibits that might be used at trial? This might be crime scene photographs, unfortunately, that will be used as exhibits at trial by the state. The defense may wish to enter into an exhibit photograph of suspect vehicle 1 versus Mr. Koberger's car and show the differences between the two. These types of things. Well, according to the court's order, these exhibits need to be exchanged on or before the 21st. They must be marked in the way that this order says. The state's exhibits are to be marked S as in Sam 1. That would be the first exhibit, and then chronologically thereafter using red stickers to keep them separate from the defense's exhibits.
Good thing.
So in other words, let's just say the state has 100 exhibits that it will be using at trial. They would go with red stickers chronologically, S as in Sam 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down through S as in Sam 100, all bearing red stickers. The defense, same thing, only theirs will be marked with blue stickers. Then what the court is doing here, I believe, to help to mitigate the risk, to lessen the risk that we're going to have a bunch of objections in front of the jury at trial where the jury may be witnessing something that could be prejudicial, could impact them, could cause then the court to say, well, okay, jury, you dismissed for just a few minutes, and then the court entertains the objections. Nope, the court is looking as though he wants to have objections possibly handled before the trial, because what he's telling the parties to do is that they are to come together with a joint spreadsheet listing all of the exhibits for both sides, listing which exhibits are agreed to and which are objected to. So in other words, let's just say the state or the defense, it raises an objection to exhibit number 50. On this spreadsheet, the defense would have to say why they're objecting to state's exhibit 50, and the state would have to say why they are objecting to the defense's.
This could take forever, huh?
51. Let's change the number just to keep it less confusing. Then that needs to be filed, that spreadsheet, on or before May 14th, 2025, and it is quite probable that the court's going to call a hearing or deal with this perhaps a calendar call or one of the other matters before trial.
April 9th.
If you would like to take a look at this document, please go to the link that I have provided in the description to this podcast episode. This will now conclude this episode of the Indie Zone podcast. Thank you, as always, for joining us.
Yeah.
Ooh, she sounds like she's gonna grade us afterwards.
I know, but she's so smart. I love how she's so
smart.
It's funny because people are like, what? People talk about the documents and stuff, and I love how she's just like so straightforward. I want to know about the documents. I go look for the documents. I find documents, and then she finds out. I don't know where she found that. And I was like, all right, cool. Interesting.
Before I forget, can we drop Frank's link in the chat just so that anyone who isn't already subbed to him, he's got a show coming up that sounds like it's going to be a nail biter. Pretty cool.
No, definitely.
Yeah, I'm in StreamYard, so I find it difficult to drop links, but if anybody can in chat, that would be awesome.
I got it. There you go.
Yeah, because I can see everybody's excited about his next show. Okay, go sub to our friend Frank. He's got an awesome show. He's live almost every day. We've been trying to join as much as possible and chit chat with everybody. Oh, awesome, guys. Yeah. So that particular channel, like, does she get all the docs like and go over each one?
Yeah. Happy and I both drop at the same time. Yeah, she does. She does, like, she did two drops. She did 2 videos today. But the other video was stuff like we've kind of already looked at, already talked about. I'll tell you what it was. We don't need to. I will direct people to go to her channel to watch her videos. I'm not going to stream a bunch of her videos, but I do go over check her every time I have her on alert. Her other video was about jury instructions. So just jury instructions. So we can watch that too if you're interested. It's like 5 minutes long.
Yeah, you know what I wanted to say, and before I forget, I'm gonna say it. About jury instructions, and I think this is so applicable to Idaho because I'm seeing this I don't go to a lot of Idaho chats anymore. I used to be like going into all of them and so interested, and now I'm kind of more waiting for the trial. But something I've seen happening, and I don't know if it's a function of people being excited about Ann Taylor or if it's a function of people wanting new information. But Ann Taylor has a different style than the prosecution in that she keeps on putting these ideas or Easter eggs or like big ideas or hopes that she has for the outcome out in the motion hearings. And the thing with that is that in all jury instructions, all jurors are told in opening statements and closing statements that what the lawyers say is not evidence, right?
Right.
It's so important. And yet I see it from really smart people. They're like, well, Ann Taylor said it, so it has to be true. It's like, no, she's a defense lawyer. It is her job
Yeah.
to poke holes, to say that she's 100% sure that Brian didn't commit this crime, that it is a complete travesty that he's on trial. These are not facts. These are just arguments. So there's a difference between arguments and evidence. And it's so frustrating to see in chats with super smart people who are like really passionate about this case, quoting Ann Taylor like they're quoting a piece of evidence.
Totally.
Until there's trial and there's evidence shown, and evidence will be marked, and it will be something that will be indisputable evidence, and they'll still have experts that will probably pick it apart in different ways. But what Ann Taylor is saying is not evidence, guys. It's just her argument.
Yeah.
So I really want to say that because it's like been on my heart so much just seeing these chats. I'm like, oh my gosh, guys.
Yeah. Do you guys want to watch that video? Just chat. You guys want to watch the video about jury instructions?
I think we're in.
Will you put it on 1.5 speed or 1.25 speed? Kathy's voice, though, she's so good.
She is good.
There is a
Still
gag
a
order.
Yes, Ducky. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to watch that? Let's pull that one up.
Gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone podcast. My name is Kathy. On April 14th, 2025, the parties are due to file their proposed respective jury instructions, with the parties then filing on or before the 21st of April their objections to any of the other side's proposed jury instructions, or to advise the court if there is an agreement on any of the jury instructions. There will be 5 separate jury instructions in this case, that after the case in chief, the guilt phase concludes, Judge Hippler will turn to the jury and address them and go over what the instructions are for each of the 5 counts that Mr. Koberger is facing, to which he remains innocent under the eyes of the law until or unless that jury adjudicates him guilty or he pleads guilty. Judge Hippler will play a very important role here, as does the jury, in going over what they must find under the law to adjudicate Mr. Koberger either guilty beyond a reasonable doubt or not guilty based on what was proffered in the courtroom, inquiring, did the state meet its burden of proof, of proving each and every element of each of the 5 counts against Mr. Koberger or not. And the elements of a crime are found within the statutes that prohibit those crimes. For example, if we look at the indictment that was filed back on the 16th of May, 2023, while this matter was still in Latah County, it charges Mr. Koberger with 5 criminal counts, all first-degree felonies. The first, burglary. The second, as to Madison. Third count as to Kaylee. Fourth count as to Xana, and 5th count as to Ethan. Each one of these counts cite to a statute in Idaho that prohibits this behavior. Let's look at count 1, page number 1 at the bottom of the indictment. And again, you can look at it by going to the Idaho Cases of Judicial Interest website, which I have provided a link to. Go down to the Koberger case, May 16th, and you can pull up the grand jury indictment. Count 1, burglary. Idaho Code, section 18-1401, comma, 1403, regards this as a first-degree felony in that state. And what this indictment says, and it's going to be language taken from the statute, that the defendant, Brian C. Koberger, in capital letters, on or before November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did unlawfully enter a residence located at 1122 King Road, Moscow, with the intent to commit the felony crime of murder. And if you look up that statute, that language is probably going to be very close to what that statute says. These are the elements of the crime that will be in the jury instruction. For example, did you find that Mr. Koberger on or about November 11th, 2022? Yes or no? In Latah County, state of Idaho, did unlawfully enter a residence? Yes or no? Located at 1122 King Road, Moscow? Yes or no? And with the intent to commit the felony crime of unaliving? Yes or no? That's what roughly a jury instruction will be, much more eloquent than that, but that's basically what that instruction will be read to the jury. And that's what the parties are probably working on right now, what their proposed jury instructions to get to the court to see if the court accepts, rejects, or does something else with regard to what the instructions will be. This will now conclude this episode of the Indie Zone podcast. Thank you for joining us here today.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Kathy.
Thanks, Kathy.
Isn't she great?
She's great. I think it's really helpful just to, especially with Idaho, because I love the creative creators that like come out with, lots of speculation ideas and like, I've always followed those people.
Yeah.
But it's really refreshing too to like get to the documents and like just like the specifics of exactly how it's going to go down when it gets to trial, because it's really easy to get carried away with, kind of the more exciting ideas.
Yeah, the speculation is fun, but it's just going to be really interesting. We actually get to the case, the court. We actually get to the courtroom. We did have one other video we were going to share today.
Are you wrapping up on Idaho?
I mean, we can keep talking about Idaho if you guys want to keep talking about Idaho. I just think it's good that we are like straightforward. Like Kathy's got us. She's got these. We check her out every day. I like that. I put the docs in our community on our community page. But
what's next for Idaho? Like, do you know? I mean, I know that you're very close and you're going to be, maybe this is new for a couple people in the chat, maybe not. But you're going to be actually boots on the ground in the Idaho case, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I'm 4 miles from the courthouse.
4 miles?
I might be 2 or 3. It's very close.
Wow.
It might be less. I think it's like a 10-minute drive.
So when is the first time that you're able to actually attend? Like,
I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works. And our courtrooms aren't very big. I've been in that courthouse a couple times. Not for me, people. But I just, I went down there a couple times and checked out the courtrooms for different things. And the courtrooms that I went in were not very big, and the cameras are, placed when we see it on, when we've seen them from streaming from the courtroom, we see where the cameras are placed, right? We're going to see everything from that angle. I don't know if I'll be able to get in the courtroom. I would assume there's going to be a whole lot of people who want to wait in line in like 100-some degree summertime weather. And I don't, and I live here, so I'll probably
it's going to be a Karen Reed situation. It's going to be people lining up, saving chairs, around the clock. It was like that apparently in Delphi as well. So I think it's going to be first come, first serve, which is super fair. But I think you could make it in a couple times, and, I think you'll do it. I think it'll be fascinating to hear your take from inside the courtroom and from outside the courtroom, like even just the meet and greets will be hilarious and interesting because, the people that make it down there will be the diehards.
I think it'd be great. I think that I definitely be able to make it to the courtroom at least once, right? If it's going to be open court that whole time, they're going to be there for weeks. I should be able to get in there at least once.
Big time. Yeah, big time.
I just think I love our courtroom's very like, it's clearly any like any courthouse. We can't just like pander. I don't know how they're going to deal with out front. When I did not go down there, and I should have gone down there when Lori Vallow was there.
That would have been enticing.
Yeah, because Lori Vallow was down there. Yeah, I know. I should have gone down there just to look around and see what it was like. But when I talked to some of the security guys down there, when I went down there last time, the guy told me that it was really, really busy for Lori Vallow.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
So I thought that was a pretty big deal.
But
it's not this case. So I'm interested. If I don't get in that, the people watching in and of itself, I do agree with you there, Frank. I don't know about hearing any plea deal or rumors, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I want to go rewind back to a few weeks ago. I don't know if Ducky remembers when she said this to us, but it opened a can of worms for us at least. When Ducky said that Ann Taylor is known to do last minute Alfred pleas. And
Right.
I looked into that. And while I couldn't find too much on specifically Ann Taylor, what I could find was a lot of people speculating that the big win for an attorney like Anne would be to get the actual death penalty off the table. That would be her ultimate goal. You know, a lot, and that what we're seeing right now is sort of them really trying that aspect of things, and that we might see a plea last minute, you know, once, and it'll probably be dependent on if the DNA gets in or not.
Yeah, and I can't see why it won't. I think that I know that we talk about the DNA quite a bit. The DNA has been talked about quite a bit. I think that what we're seeing is 21st century courtroom things. Things have already gone through the Supreme. These things have already passed. The Supreme Court's already looked at stuff about DNA. You know, so it's kind of like these things they basically just need to be completed on the end of being said, like, this is already in place. We already have this statute. We already have this written law. And yes or no. And it seems like the judge is leaning towards this is getting admitted.
That's how it sounds like to me as well. I think to exclude it would be to really be crippling the case for now. This is just from my perspective, but I think the overview perspective is really important because when you talk to somebody that knows like maybe 20% or 10% or 5% of a case, it's more sort of what an average juror might kind of like notice or focus on. And I think to exclude the DNA would really be like crippling to the prosecution, and I don't think that the judge at this stage of the game is going to do that. That's just my feeling from this judge and just the way that this judge is leaning in most cases. He seems very conservative.
Yeah.
And fair. And fair.
Yeah, I think he's great. Yeah, I love Hitler.
Big fan of Hitler. And he doesn't want to be there. I love that he doesn't want to be the judge in this case. It's very like non-anti-Bev. Like it's very like he's like, get me out of here as soon as possible. We're not dragging this shit show on.
Because he knows how long the trial's going to be no matter what. Yeah. It's like, oh, look, another motion. Oh, good.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. So, I don't know if what people's thoughts are on a Frank's hearing, if we're going to still be getting one, if that could be upcoming. But I don't know. I don't know that they will, but I kind of err on the side of I really liked what Frank said the other day when he was challenging Miss Potts on her ideas. And I think a lot of the chat that was sort of her friends or whatever it was, I don't know, I'm kind of was new to it, but saying, you know, getting him off on a technicality, you know, would not be an ideal circumstance. Like, you know, talking about things like, oh, well, this is unconstitutional, so therefore he should get off. That would be awful, in my opinion, you know. And I don't think that Hitler is going to be doing that in this case. This was a crazy, huge quadruple homicide. And, you know, we want some justice out there. And I'd like to see everything get in. But also, I'd like a lot of his motions to go through. Like, if they have to do the Franks hearing to feel like they've had their say, then let's do the Franks hearing. Let's do it. Let's have it.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll get their way, but I mean, let's have the hearing.
Yeah, and I mean, what is going to just prove that it is correct? Prove that they are honest? Prove that it's real?
Oh, sorry, Mr. Mandela. Let me be frank with you in the chat. I call him Frank. Because
oh, sorry, yeah, it's kind Confusing to talk about
but
the
yeah,
two at the same
he
time.
has a channel that we dropped, and we've been popping into his channel, and so I was just kind of just going back to an issue that we had kind of chatted about a little bit.
Yeah, that technicality would keep that be severe through get the case thrown out. But I actually think at the same time, yeah, that it does barely happen. And I also think that we heard it from the prosecution that it's okay if it does get thrown out. They're telling us they have enough evidence without it.
Yeah, that was telling. I know it was just a moment, but I totally picked up on that too. And I
Yeah.
was like, interesting, because they don't really say a lot. It's not like Anne where she throws everything out there.
She's
And
trying everything.
yeah, like they don't really give a lot away. So I thought that was an interesting comment to make. But to me, yeah, I think from what we know of the evidence, that would be a big piece to just throw out. But they obviously know what's coming in and what isn't at this point too, because they have all the information, right? We don't.
Right. I hope so. I mean, I hope she does. She continues to ask for it. So I hope the defense has all the information. She's asked for it 50 zillion times. And then they're like, here's 5 bazillion bytes.
Well, here's the thing though, that I looked into it, and that's normal in all cases. And these are judges too. Like this isn't their first rodeo. They've seen the level of, like they've seen the amount of terabytes or, evidence that gets given to a defense attorney, and she's not new, and this isn't her first time doing it. So, I think that they're all working within the bounds of whatever's it's a quadruple homicide, so it's going to be a lot more than, a parking ticket. But at the same time, like they've given her a lot of allowances, a lot of time. I'm sure there's a lot of people working around the clock on it.
Oh, yeah.
And the judge is fair. He's fair. He wants to see this not be a mistrial in any way.
Right.
And I think he's the type that would hear all sides, and if it was insanely unfair the amount of time given to the defense, I don't think he would feel right about that either.
Yeah, I agree. So I do think a Frank Searing would be fair.
Yes, and she's also death penalty qualified. Exactly. And with that, I would imagine comes a team who is death penalty qualified.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there's her, and then there's her team, and then there's the time that they've already had. And then, they seem to think that this amount of time, both judges seem to think that this amount of time was about right. So,
Yeah, I agreed. Yeah.
Defer to the actual people who do this for a living.
Yeah, soon. There's something coming up though. I think there is something in February, and it might be next week or something like that, and we'll keep you updated.
Right. Yeah, it would be very interesting. Yeah, we will. Yeah, we'll stay updated. I mean, we
are craving answers.
Super deep into Idaho because we know that it's kind of a waiting game with Idaho, but we've been watching from the wings and and checking in with our Idaho people, because there's some people that they're going to talk about Idaho every day until it happens.
Yeah.
No show. We were in that camp for a while.
Yeah, it's hard to look away.
It is hard, yeah. But we've got lots going on. Well, we have kind of a fun story too, a bit of a viral story. Do you want to just throw it on?
Yeah.
With no explanation?
Yeah, why not? I loved it.
All right. Here's the story of the week.
Yeah, why not?
Chilling. You chilling here? Why are you not taking your flight?
It's none of your business. Now go home. I'm asking for 100K or more. I need 20K by this week. Okay, in my pockets.
The situation involving an American woman, Onija Andrew Robinson, who overstayed her visa in Pakistan, has grabbed headlines and sparked discussions both locally and across social media platforms. Robinson, 33, traveled to Karachi in October 2024 to marry 19-year-old Nidal Ahmed Memon, whom she met online. However, After her tourist visa expired, she found herself unable to proceed with her plans due to disapproval from Memmon's family.
Oh no!
In an unusual turn of events, Robinson began to publicly demand money from local authorities and Memon himself, with her requests escalating to weekly sums of $3,000 to $5,000.
For what?
And even reaching demands for $50,000 to $100,000 from the Pakistani government. Her demands were aimed at either facilitating her return to the United States or supporting her stay in Pakistan. Alongside her expressed interest in obtaining Pakistani citizenship, she has also demanded money and said the Pakistani government need to fix up all of these buildings and clean up.
Yeah.
Please come here.
Please sit down. Be quiet. I'm not sitting down. My plan is to reconstruct this whole country, okay? I'm asking for 100K or more. I need 20K by this week, okay? In my pockets, in cash, okay? That's a demand to the government. The government is gonna fix up these buildings, fix up the streets, and clean up these streets. It's ridiculous out here. I do not like it. I don't live here. I'm chilling.
You chilling here? Why are you not taking your flight?
It's none of your business. Now go home. Okay. Right now, I'm going to my
Oh,
mom.
her eyebrows. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Clear it away.
The local response has been one of confusion and action, with authorities, NGOs, and the US consulate working to resolve the predicament.
Oh my gosh.
Despite offers of help, including a return ticket to the US, Robinson has refused assistance, leading to a complex situation regarding visa enforcement and international relations. Reactions on social media have varied from disbelief to humor, focusing on her refusal to leave Pakistan, her sit-in outside Memmon's former residence, and her chaotic interactions with the media. Legally, overstaying a visa is a violation in Pakistan, and her actions have only complicated the matter further. Additionally, concerns about her mental health have been raised by her son and local officials, adding another layer of complexity to the situation. As of the latest reports, Robinson remains in Pakistan, with ongoing efforts by local authorities and the US consulate to find a resolution. She has been moved between various safe locations, including a welfare organization's facility and a women's police station, for her protection.
The world moves on another day, another drama.
I would like to go on record as saying that I have now learned the art of completely manifesting this woman and her 100K or more.
Right. 20K in my pocket.
In my
20K in my pocket tonight, I think she said.
Mind your business.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. They ask her a question. She's all, none of your business.
I mean, it's hilarious. I've seen this lady has taken over my TikTok. She's taken over my reels. I'm sending you guys these reels all the time because I'm literally dying. She's so funny. She's from New York. She catfished this young guy and showed up at his door. She's actually been there since October 2024.
Yeah, that's wild. That part's wild. They're like, her visa's expiring. I'm like, what? How long has she been there? What's
She's
she
been
doing?
there a long time.
And
yeah,
she's
and they're so
demanding money.
nice. The Pakistani people are so nice.
And she just completely taking advantage of how kind they are.
Kind of.
Or
They gave her money.
They're housing her. They're feeding her.
She did get her money. She did get some money, not in USD like she had wanted, but they gave her some money. They've been buying her food. She's being met at the airport in New York by other Pakistani men because now she's one of their sisters. Like, it's too much. It's so funny. It's
She
so funny.
catfished him. Mr. Mandela's asking, she catfished him. He
She
didn't
did.
catfish her.
Yeah, she was using a filter of a blonde lady.
Oh, and she's not a blonde lady.
Apparently not. Apparently not. So
I want to know if she got the land too, Ducky. Did she get the
she
land?
did not get her land.
Oh man, I'm
No.
like follow up, no land.
So,
Sorry.
so ladies, if you are not getting your land or your $2,000 or more, oh gosh, we just wanted to end with something super funny and something kind of hilarious. She's been going viral. I'm calling it right now. She's going to be the next Haktua girl. She's going to be everywhere. She is such a character.
Agreed. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so sad that Eric from New York isn't here to react because that would be everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We'll get his reaction. We'll get Eric from New York's reaction to that.
He did say she was classic. He has responded to me on Instagram a few times.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's great. It was fun chatting with you all tonight.
Yeah, that was super fun, guys. Thanks for showing up. It was really cool to have all you guys chatting with each other too. Such a fun little crew we have here. Definitely all our favorites.
Yeah.
And some couldn't be here. Rach couldn't be here. Eric's sleeping. But yeah, I mean, love you guys. Thanks for doing this recap with us. And
Yeah.
so, thank
We'll
you.
see you guys. We'll see you guys in a few days. Later. Good night.
Later. Bye, guys. One more. We're chilling.